Fun fact, if you stole from my supermarket and went to the deli, they'd give you money for the stock.
The deli?
Yep.
Where I used to buy cigarettes and Keno.
Yeah.
So what, you could steal stuff from your store, like a 24-pack of Coke.
Yep.
The deli would hook you up with a $20 note.
We had 2 buy houses. One got raided and shut down, then one opened the next day.
You need to is this of interest? This is interesting. What do you mean buy houses?
So
people would go steal shit from the supermarket.
From my supermarket, yeah.
And there'd be a known house that would be like, yeah, we can move that for you. So there'd be a handling house. They'd give you the cash and then they'd fleece it.
So, for example, you'd come in, they'd load up on, I don't know, like just shit, like meat. Yeah, down the jacket, down the pants.
I saw a chick steal meat at Coles at Ingle Farm the other day.
Yeah.
Probably 6 months ago. She just put it in her bag and I was like, that's not getting paid for. Like she was in the frozen section, stuffed a bunch of stuff in her backpack, just put her bag on and just walked out.
Yeah. And so they'd load up. They'd come in jackets, be 40 degrees. Anyway, you do your best to stop them, but, you know, one knife being pulled on you is enough. So
if that's a champion jacket, though, that's probably just trendy, right?
Oh, right, yeah. And then they'd walk to the set of houses, the first house on the right, that was the first buy house. And you'd go there, say with $300 worth of stock, but you'd get like $80. And then if you got premium meat, then they'd go down the road to the pub and the buy house would go to the pub and would go, here, I got this. You know, what are you going to give for me? And it was a vicious cycle. And that's what happens. That's true. Like you can get in the comments say that doesn't happen, but you don't know what you're talking about until you actually physically see it. Anyway, that house got raided on like a Wednesday.
Land Cruiser with SWAT dudes on the side.
Yeah, SWAT rocked up, closed the street. Yeah.
I love how SWAT have got nothing better to do because when they have prison riots, they just give them dominoes and go back to your cells.
So that would growing illicit and buy house. And
cooking and growing.
Everything. Yeah, everything.
And they just like supplemented their income with steaks and Coke.
Yep. So that got shut down then like on a Wednesday. And then on the Thursday, the house across the road, which in the supermarket world, that person everybody knows in the supermarket world is like, you know, the guy. And his house was shut down like a week later. And then it just kept moving and moving because whenever someone stole from my shop, they'd always go the same way. Like we're talking like hourly, these people would come in and just stock up and leave and come back. And
what do you think the total percentage of dollars in the turnover of an individual store or the total company would be in theft? Like the Drakes are $1 billion.
Yeah, I think they're 1.7.
Yeah. So of that 1.7, how much money do you reckon is being stolen? I'm sure JP's done a video of that.
Probably 10 million, 15 million.
So it's not that much. I know that's a stupid sentence, but it's not that much. But it's worth definitely putting a security guard at every store.
Yeah, it's not that much. But if you're selling that stock,
well, that's right. There's profit on the stock as well, which they would argue is nothing. They're even having meat like locked up.
Mm-hmm. So our store trialed those metal things. Yep. The guys would just come in with knives and slit the packet open, put it in their bag.
You can't do this, but like you put poison in the meat.
Jesus.
Right? And then when you pay for it, they give you the antidote.
Yeah, that sounds really bad. But it was
2 birds with 1 stone, right?
Yeah.
You start losing the people that steal the meat, and no one steals the meat anymore.
Anyway.
Cost of living crisis.
Yeah, those people stealing were not stealing for the right things. I'd have.
What should you steal for? Hunger.
Well, if you're stealing sausages, baked beans, you know.
Because you just need to eat.
Because you need to eat, that's different.
It's like your moral compass would state that if you were starving, choose the lowest cost item so that you're not impacting a business as much, but you're still eating.
No, you don't need an $85 steak.
If you're going to steal, why wouldn't you just steal the best shit?
But I had customers that were genuinely struggling that we could do stuff for. My store had a St. Vincent de Paul's. They'd do vouchers. So they'd buy vouchers from us and we could do stock for them and stuff like that. There was ways around getting food.
Yeah. It's pretty and this is definitely not what people are going to expect from me, that in the world we live in today, that anyone is not eating food.
Oh, it is ridiculous. Like